What's up guys, Justin here for S&S Archery. In today's gear video, we're going to be taking a look at a new black gold sight that just hit the market. Today's gear video, we're going to be looking at the Mountain Lite Dual Trac. All right guys, if you're in the market for a new sight, there's no better time to buy a sight than now. A lot of these bow sight companies are really tailoring to specific bow builds. So if you're running the Matthews bow utilizing the bridge lock, or say a Hoyt like myself running the Picatinny mount, there's a lot of options out there. So now is definitely a great time. And like most bow sight companies, every year we're gonna have some new sights. So like I said, today's gear video is on the Mountain Lite Dual Trac. So we'll dive right into this one. Open it up. So as you guys can see, we have the Mountain Lite Dual Trac. This is pretty much the exact same thing as the regular Mountain Lite other than the housing up front. So you still have your ML3 base, which is a 3-inch X-frame, which offers third axis adjustment. So unlike the whitetail, you don't have that adjustment. Here on the Mountain Lite you do. So for all you tree stand hunters, guys shooting steep angles, very crucial to have that set up correctly, and it is included on this model. Being that it is a shorter base, a shorter sight, this is going to stick a lot closer to your riser or your bow. So if you like running a bigger peep, this is going to line up really nice. I personally ran the Pro Dual Trac last season. I absolutely loved it. For me, the aiming system of having that vertical pin really made it easy to focus on my target, not drift left and right. I ran it for archery antelope, archery elk. For me, like I said, it was just hands down one of the most accurate shooting sights that I've ever used. So the big change with the Mountain Lite and the Mountain Lite Dual Trac is the housing itself and your vertical pin system with 2 pins. You know, a single pin, honestly, is probably the most accurate sight that you can shoot. But 1 pin for hunting situations really is not that good of a sight, in my opinion. If you've ever been in that situation where you've had an animal come in, you've ranged that spot, but all of a sudden it bumps out 10, 15 yards, you got to let down, you got to range, you got to dial, you got to pull back and shoot. So a lot going on there. So to make it a lot easier, we have 2 pins now. As far as the pins on this Mountain Lite Dual Trac, if you buy from S&S Archery, you're going to have a green 19 thousandths and a green 10 thousandths. If you buy it from somebody else, you're going to see it in a 19 thousandths green and a 19 thousandths red. We went away from red, yellow. We really like the 2 greens. For us, it's the easiest to see. It's the best in optimal lighting or really bad lighting. It just performs the best out of all the fiber colors. And then we also went to that 10 thousandths pin on the bottom. So that's going to be really nice for those, you know, longer shots when you really need a precise pinpoint, you know, accuracy point, especially when that animal's out there far. You don't want that top, you know, your 19 thousandths pin covering up too much of the target. So that is a nice feature if you buy the sight from us to get it basically custom built. As far as moving that pin gap, it's an easy, you have basically a screw here on the bottom that's going to move that front pin or that 10 thousandths here the front of the housing. That's going to move that pin up and down. Now that pin gap is going to basically be determined by your bow's ballistics or your arrow speed. So for some guys, you might get 9 yards, you might get all the way out to 18, you know, 15 to 18 yards. For my setup, I roughly was about 12 yards on the Pro Dual Trac, so I know this setup's going to be right there about the same. The main difference between your Pro Dual Trac, the Mountain Lite Dual Trac here, what you're going to see is there's no micro gang adjustment on your windage and your elevation. Does not come with it here on this model. You know, honestly, once you initially set this up, if you're a guy that doesn't move your sight around a whole bunch, you shoot mainly 1 arrow. To me, that's just kind of an extra add-on that you really don't need. You know, simply move it over, unloosen the Allen screw here on the bottom, here inside the windage bar. You know, slide it over with your hand, make that adjustment, tighten it down, and you're pretty much set. So you don't have that ability here on this model, just on the Pro Dual Trac. This sight is a fully adjustable sliding sight, so meaning you're going to get all these different sight tapes, which are going to correspond to your arrow's ballistics. So we've got a whole nother video explaining the sight-in process of this. So if you guys are interested, I'll put a video link right here so you guys can check it out. But if you get through that and you still have questions about that, give us a call, shoot us an email. We definitely help you guys with this whole process. But the way this works, once you figure out what sight tape, it's going to go here on your window indicator, and then your actual indicators are going to point to whatever your pins are sighted in at. So if I want my top pin at 20, it's going to correspond to the 20-yard mark. And if I want my bottom pin here, say at 33, I'm going to have that bottom indicator. I'm going to move it and hit right on 33. So as you dial out this sight, both indicators are going to move down the sight tape. A couple more things. I'll hit again on the housing itself. So you have the photochromatic shell. This is going to really counterbalance the harsh rays coming into the fiber optics. So in the early morning hours, it's going to be this clear color. It's kind of dim here in the shop. So it's allowing as much light as possible to my fibers to make those pins really glow. If I were to step outside and it gets really bright, basically that's going to turn a purple hue. It's going to block those harsh rays. So cool technology packed into all the black gold sights. As far as the build quality of this, you know, I would say right up there with Spot Hog and HHA. Maybe not the overall finished, maybe like an 8 out of 10 in my opinion. But functionality, how it works, and the pins, 10 out of 10 every time. I absolutely love black gold. They've been phenomenal. If you ever have any, issues with this sight, on a workmanship, something strips out, whatever it may be, black gold's going to take care of it 100%. I think that pretty much covers the sight. So you have first, second, third axis adjustment, no micro gang adjustment on the windage and your elevation. You have the 2 pins on the new Dual Trac, green 19 thousandths, green 10 thousandths on the bottom. Overall, I think this is going to be a phenomenal sight for the Western hunter that wants a very compact, lightweight setup. This thing comes in at 8.8 ounces, so extremely lightweight, but yet it's going to be very durable and withstand the abuse of hunting. So if you guys have any questions about the new Mountain Lite Dual Trac, please feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email. We'd be glad to help. And thanks for watching, guys.